Of course I couldn't stand to try it.
Every nurse should get 1 year practice in this room. 257. Wow.
What about the ISHRS membership? Will I open clinics? A year and a half of research, studied about 100 clinics all over the world, not just in Turkey. Personal presence at surgeries to know exactly how to do and exactly how not to do. What gross mistakes there are, so that you don't make those mistakes in your surgeries. To compare clinics and so on, and I try to learn from the best. And now I've even attended an international forum on hair transplantation, where the gurus are represented. And now I've had a real workshop, which not all of those who go right away, sometimes start chopping your heads off without the necessary training. This is the special practice room at one of the best clinics in the world. It's very important here to get the right practice under the supervision of an experienced assistant and get those skills that will form the best team. It takes time, and of course you need capable students as well. Training continues until the students show confidence in performing the doctor's tasks. The most important thing is not just that, to transplant at least 10,000 grafts onto a mannequin, but the skill itself must be perfected to automatism. All movements should be confident and any situation should be controlled. What happens after a trainee has the experience of transplanting 10,000 grafts onto a mannequin? After implanting 10,000 grafts, when he already has the necessary skill, the trainee slowly begins to implant directly with the patient. He starts slowly, starting with 5 grafts, and it gets bigger every day. Of course it's all under the supervision by a responsible surgical assistant.
Every nurse should get 1 year practice in this room before touching any case.
Typically, how many students are trained at the same time? About 4 mock-ups can be done at the same time, but of course there has to be a responsible person who will supervise this work, because time is very expensive here, since we have procedures. My colleague just clarified that 2 people can do training on 1 mock-up at the same time, but it all depends on the person who can supervise it. And are only staff from the clinic itself trained, or can someone who wants to be trained from the outside be trained as well? Of course, only those who work in our clinic can be trained, but at the World Workshop, which for example was in June 2022 and took place in our clinic, everyone could try it out. In this workshop, only colleagues from other countries participated? Not only from other countries. Of course, people who are interested in hair transplantation, not only as a procedure, but also from a scientific point of view, because there is a lot of experience in the workshops and a lot of different situations. There are clinics for $2,000–3,000. There are those who do the same thing for $5,000, some for $10,000. I research clinics around the world looking for price/quality range. When is it worth paying more for a hair transplant, and when you just pay for marketing and there is not even any medicine? To choose a specific clinic and doctor for you, for your case, for your budget, and now even a location. After all, I study clinics around the world, on all continents. And of course I just couldn't stand not to try my hand at being a hair transplant doctor's assistant. Be sure to watch the video to the end. And that doesn't mean I'm going to be doing surgeries. I do have plans for my future. But it is very interesting for me to feel myself in the shoes of those who make you operations, to understand all this kitchen. Wow. The important thing is to have a predictable result, not a 50/50th chance that it will work out or not. I have a free consultation where I spend about 5 minutes on general analysis. And there are personalized, detailed private consultations, detailed you might say, which can be for 30, 45, and 60 minutes. I remind you that you are paying for knowledge that no one else has. After all, not everyone has access to all the clinics in the world, and not everyone has checked as many clinics as I have checked. And that's only in a year and a half. And it's also about my personal time. You need to get a little closer, otherwise if you're too far away from the model, you'll get double vision and a blurry image. Now we are shown how to put in. She is now carefully placing the graft into the open canal with tweezers. The darker part will be on top. You can loosen it up, you don't have to squeeze too hard. That's it, right? Yes, that's right. Now you take the tweezers, plunge them into the open canal. Ah, one graft has fallen out. You see how easy it is to lose grafts. And here we hold on. Oh guys, this is a challenge. Great. For the first time, I think it's great. Yeah, I'm already embarrassed because 2 grafts fell out because of the tweezers and my wrong moves. Consider that 50% of the grafts I've already lost. Remember, you are investing in your future and the quality of your future life. Correcting mistakes can cost a lot more. Right now, the moment you planted the graft incorrectly. See, that's 2 mistakes already. Surgery should not be done by assistants who often don't have the right skills, nor do they have the experience and practice of how to lead teams and other assistants. And yet they open their own clinics, or more accurately their own offices in big medical centers, and call themselves doctors. And you think they are real doctors and they are part of the whole medical center. But that's just renting an office. Don't be fooled. But the most dangerous thing is that at a cheap price you pay with your nerves and your appearance. Move it up a little? Yeah, you can put it down a little. Okay. Guys, I already have 2 grafts, so no one says anything. Okay, now let's try to finish these. After that, we can print yourself a fake doctor's degree and rent an office at Colon Hospital, as many fake doctors often do. Well, if all sorts of Birkanov's Hair Fake Academy call themselves doctors, with no medical training whatsoever, then I can do the same thing myself. So what else is needed? Yes, you'll say, what about ISHRS membership? Nothing, you'd be surprised, but it's not that hard to get one if you know how Photoshop works and are willing to just pay this association. And Photoshop is not about faking that paper, it's about faking the paperwork of being a doctor, like Dr. Burjan and a bunch of other imposters do, in fact, who train on your heads with no punishment. And you look at that piece of paper and you think, man, he's a member of an international association. It means absolutely nothing. It's just a piece of commercial paper with no guarantees or quality control.
Yes.
Okay, can I make the last one?
Oh, it's not an easy task, guys. It's a real challenge if anyone thinks it's easy to do.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Now I have even more respect for all those teams that do it day in and day out. And they do it super well. It's not easy, I'm telling you seriously. You shouldn't have shaky hands and you should be as focused as possible on the little details. Look at those little tweezers, it's very hard to thread and insert and to put the graft into the canal with those little tweezers, so if it seems like an easy task to someone it's not easy. Please keep in mind that my consultations are within the time that you do book and pay for. Keep in mind that after the hair transplant, if you are wasting my time, it is again my personal time. If you want my expert advice, there may be pre-surgical consultations, there may be post-surgical consultations. If you want me to evaluate how the transplant is done, any nuances, and so on. Thank you for respecting my personal time. Yes, it really takes practice and practice, at least for me, a person who has never done it. It's a very responsible thing to do. And I don't even know how anyone does it without such practice. How someone with a clear conscience practices on our heads, in some rented offices. There should be arrests for that. Operations should be done by doctors who are developing professionally, not just training on the laurels of the 90s, 2000s, transplanting 2,000 grafts into the 5th or 6th degree of alopecia. Consultants should do their job, supporting you after the surgery and advising you before you get to the operating table. Consultants shouldn't be marketing, terrorizing you with buy transplants, because their income depends on it. And my unique job that no one else in the world is doing yet, without doing advertising to clinics, for years, honestly research clinics and select doctors so that you get the best results without overpaying just for the air. And it's also important for me to do it for you cheaper and most importantly, with predictable results, which I can track. It is in my detailed consultations that I dive into your particular case, go deeper, and we work through it together. Here is the feedback on my consultations and my work. Every week I set aside just 2 days for detailed consultations and 1 day every 1 or 2 weeks for free consultations when time comes up. Will I be opening clinics and doing transplants in person? No, of course not. I worry about you a lot more than you might think, because I am a bald man myself and I understand what you live for, and how important it is not just to make money, but to be responsible for each of you, for your heads and for the results. I may not be a clinic, I may not be a consultant, I may stand on the sidelines, but it is my position on the sidelines between you and the clinics, as I see it, that allows me to get the results that you and I get for you. Thank you for watching to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like it and leave comments what you think about it. And most importantly, let them grow.